Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Untitled Racks Destination 4-bike rack carrier here in the back of our 2017 Chevy Traverse. So guys, if you're looking for a way of really maximizing the back end of your vehicle to go ahead and carry a ton of bikes, this is going to be a great little option. Of course, with the 4-bike rack carrier, you're going to have a little bit of interaction here. However, what's really nice, I really like how these center posts do a great job of making sure that our bikes aren't going to be making constant contact, much like you might see on a hanging style rack. Now, with the Destination 2, it is going to be a very safe way of going ahead and transporting your bikes. Now, I will say, not the best looking bike rack out there, right? There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of straps, a little tie down points. However, I think you guys are really going to become a bigger fan of it as you start seeing how you can actually go ahead and secure all 4 bikes in a nice, safe manner, and they're going to have limited contact with each other, and your bikes are just going to get to your destination looking exactly how you left them or put them on there. On the very end here too, you are seeing these little white reflectors. I really like going ahead and showing these guys off just because I don't think they're standard enough across the bike rack industry. Going to be excellent to go ahead and let people that are traveling behind us know exactly where we are. So hopefully we don't have any accidents with our family in the vehicle, or just running up, getting home late from those dusk rides. Can be very nice to go ahead and just alert people where we are, especially being in an all black rack. So how this guy actually works, you guys can see here we do have 2 holes on our tire at either point. Now these guys are going to be excellent. You can see you have that little rubber tab going across that strip as well, making sure we're not going to be scuffing the rim, much like you might see some other straps that don't have that on there might do. And that's going to be great, of course, of keeping your rims in nice working order and just keeping them looking nice. In the middle here, though, you do have your center posts. So these guys are where a lot of the work's being done. You can see we have it hanging here in a diagonal position. Where the versatility of the Untitled Racks really starts showing off to me is this guy right here. You guys can see we have 360 degrees of revolution here. So if you do have a vertical posting bike, horizontal or diagonal, you're going to have no trouble at all actually getting that guy to conform to what your bike need might be. Again, that becomes awesome. If the family has a whole bunch of different bikes, going to have no trouble getting them on here. Secondly, you start bringing some friends out with you, it's going to be really easy to go ahead and adjust it for everybody. Now with that too, one last little thing of versatility, you do have this little guy right here, and you can actually transpose them between these 2 positions here. Now that's not going to be a huge factor for a lot of people out there, but if you do have a smaller bike, nice that I can go ahead and actually secure this even with the Destination by just bringing those in closer, which can be great. A little versatility really does go a long way. Well, unfortunately, the only thing that is kind of bad about the Hollywood Destination in my mind is that you actually can't tilt this away while your bikes are on there. Now keep in mind you are getting 4 bike racks on a pretty lightweight carrier in my mind for what you're getting, so that's just kind of one of the things. You're losing that moving, pivoting maneuver to go ahead and tilt it away. However, in my mind, that's really the biggest caveat with this guy. And to go ahead and access your cargo, all you need to do is go ahead and pop off your bike. To do so, I'm just simply going to undo our strips over here and our last one on our front tire hold. And that's going to go ahead and bring us to our last hold here on our bike. So what I like to do, go ahead and loop your arm on the other side on here. And I'm kind of pulling this frame towards me. My off fingers here can go ahead, undo that when my offhand pushes that strip out. That way I can go ahead and get it undone. I can go ahead and just drop this guy by getting that strap out of the way. Just getting him pushed there. And then I can simply grab my bike and walk it away. So you can attack that from a lot of different angles, guys. Don't have to do it exactly how I did. But again, not going to take too much time to actually get this guy dismounted. And as well as mounting it is going to be pretty much the same thing. Just kind of watching it over here. And the one thing to really look for is how your pedals are interacting with the center mass here. So getting them kind of out of the way, placing maybe that front wheel down and going ahead and changing those around, getting them exactly how you want it can be a big way of just kind of managing your system here. On the inside though, we do want to go ahead and actually bring this post down. You can see here this little lever bar is actually what's holding us up. All I have to do, counterclockwise on here, lefty loosey of course, to go ahead and expose that thread. That's going to allow me to pull that guy out and simply bring this guy down and into position. Of course, we just have to kind of watch the positioning of our cradles. And one thing I really like to do, take this extra strap, guys, throw it around here, bring it right into position, right like that. Go ahead and sink it down, and that way, when we do go ahead and pull this up later, it's not going to be popping out, interacting with the back of our Traverse, which is great. I'm just going to go ahead and run these guys down. One thing I do like about them too, you have this little eye hole here. So you guys are going to see that becomes really, really nice to go ahead, slot a finger through, really bring that down. And that way, if it is cold or wet, you're not pinching your hands, and just gives you a really good purchase point for it, which is great. But now we can go ahead and open up our hatch here. As you guys can see, going to be plenty of room with that in that down position. However, not going to be the quickest, easiest access, but I still like how I don't have to take this fully out. I can go ahead and just drop it down and still have access to the back here to get those coolers, bike helmets, anything you might need. Still nice that we don't have to take this fully out, even though we can't do it with the bikes on there. But that's just something kind of what we're working with. You're probably used to that if you have a hanging style rack. Now, if you guys do want to, you can start looking at some of your really premium bike rack carriers that can go ahead and tilt away. But for a bike rack carrier, for the price that you're at and just how lightweight that the destination is, it's really kind of a bang for your buck kind of scenario. So keep that in mind when you are reviewing which kind of bike rack you want. Well, a couple things we do want to watch out for here, though, is going to be our clearance. One nice thing about the destination, too, you can see you have this nice little slant that's going on. That's really going to help us here on our clearance, as we are about right under 26 there. So about 25 7/8 of an inch to the very end of our wings there. Why we're worried about this clearance, as those front wheels go up, the back will go down, and so will your hitch mounted accessory. So if you do find yourself approaching a very steep incline, it could be something to keep in mind. But with about 26 inches or so, I think we're going to be A-okay. Just keep in mind, if you do start off-roading in the Traverse, just to be a little conscious of it, you do have a little bit of clearance just to kind of watch out for. Now, one other thing we do want to watch, though, for guys, is how much length we're adding to our vehicle. Now, 4x rack carrier, definitely going to be pushing it, but we can go ahead and see what we're working with. Doesn't seem too gaudy on here. Not going to be too much being extended on the back here, which is great. And from the back of the vehicle to the very end, that's going to put you about 38 1/4 inches to the very end here, guys. So definitely going to be a little room to consider. Now, we're under 40 inches, which is great. And the Traverse, not the longest vehicle out there, of course, but we do have a way of quickly shortening this down. In the middle here, we're going to have this little clip system. All I need to do, pull that guy out. That's going to allow me to start unthreading this guy. And one thing I like to, you have this nice little safety cable. You can go ahead and let that hang down just like that, and you can walk this up. Now, you're not going to walk it up all the way, so you do need to go ahead and kind of find it here. I went over it just a little bit, and then right there, we can go ahead. Now we're nice and aligned. Now I can spin this in and then replace my clip. One thing I really like about this knob, it's large, which can go a long way. You know, if your hands are cold or wet, it's always never too fun to go ahead and get a purchase point. I think we're going to have no trouble at all with this guy, and it really lets you tighten this down, which is excellent, because you guys can see we're not going to have any movement here in this position. So even though we're really extended up here, right, and you might think, man, that might have a lot of play to it, it really doesn't, because I have control on that knob, and I can go ahead and really make sure it's nice and secure. So that's definitely something I like to see, and it just does an excellent job. Not having that shake, not all that rattle, you're not going to be hearing it. That's going to be excellent for ourselves. On the inside here, though, we do have ourselves a 2-inch shank here today, utilized by our 2-inch hitch receiver. On the inside, you are seeing a threaded anti-rattle hitch bolt. Now, what that's allowing us to do, of course, take all that shake and that play that our shank might be having in there and completely eliminate it. Before I give you guys that test, too, to show you what I'm talking about, we do have a little locking core there to go ahead and make sure that your carrier stays to your vehicle when you leave it unattended. But talking about that anti-rattle bolt, you guys can see as I shake this, that actually shakes the entirety of the Traverse. That means we're all in line with one system, making for a nicer, smoother ride for ourselves, our bike rack, and our bikes. And that can definitely go a long way. Now, one thing I will say about the destination, doesn't come with an included cable lock to go ahead and secure your bikes. One thing I would do, probably go ahead and grab myself a cable lock, especially if you find yourself on those longer drives. Now, if you're just taking the family up on the weekend, sure, you're going to have enough people to kind of watch at the gas station or anything like that. But if you do find yourself kind of want to take this on a longer road trip, that would be something I would highly recommend looking at, is getting some kind of security measure to go ahead and secure your bikes to your carrier when you leave it unattended. Now, being a 4-bike rack carrier, you guys can see this does sit a little bit higher than you might notice from some of the other bike racks out there. So it is going to be blocking us just a little bit here for anybody behind us of seeing where our taillights are. Now, of course, we have our side ones here, and I think we have enough mittens as well, because we're so far away that anybody's going to have, everybody's going to be able to see where we're at. Everybody's going to be knowing we're braking, which is going to be great. Our signals are also going to be seen, so I don't think we're going to have too much issue there with everybody seeing where we're at. You guys can see our backup camera here, though, is going to be mainly hitting this housing right here. So I think we're going to lose quite a lot in this position. You do have these nice little gaps here that might might give you a little bit more vision, but keep in mind, it is just right there. It's going to be something that happens with almost any rack, and especially if you get four bikes on here in its normal kind of carrying position, you're definitely going to lose a lot on that backup camera. So just be aware of that as you go forward. All in all, though, guys, I think the Destination is a great little bike rack. It's definitely become one of my favorites. Again, it's not the cleanest looking bike rack out there, but I love how much securance I'm getting on my bike. I'm getting 2 on each of my wheels, and that center mount becomes excellent for myself to go ahead and hold on to there. And I don't know if we mentioned it before, but I want to go ahead and clear it up now. Since we do have that frame mount, unfortunately, not going to be great for your carbon frame bikes. It will end up warping and deteriorating them, and you're just going to have to go ahead, start looking for some upgrades, looking for those front tire holds to go ahead and make sure you have no frame contact to get your carbon frames to your destination as well. Well, guys, I think that about does it for our look at the Hollywood Racks Destination 4 bike rack carrier here in the back of our 2017 Chevy Traverse. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.